When your engine is running lean, it means there's too much air and not enough fuel in the air-fuel mix. Think of it like a campfire. If you blow too much air on it without adding wood, it struggles and can burn weird. Your engine wants a very specific balance, so combustion is smooth, cool enough, and efficient. Most gas engines aim for about 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel during normal cruising. The car's computer constantly adjusts around that target using sensors. If it keeps having to add fuel but still can't correct the mixture enough, it sets a lean code and you may feel drivability issues. How you know it's running lean. Some cars run lean and feel almost normal. Others make it obvious. You might notice rough, idle hesitation when you press the gas, weak power, surging at steady speed, stalling at stops, pinging or knocking under load, or worse fuel economy than expected. The check engine light often comes with codes like P0171 or P0174, which usually mean System 2 Lean on Bank 1 or Bank 2. Lean conditions matter because they can raise combustion temperatures. That can damage valves over time and can overheat and ruin a catalytic converter if misfires start happening. The computer's fuel trim clues. The engine computer watches oxygen sensors or air-fuel ratio sensors on many newer cars and adjusts fuel delivery. Those adjustments are called fuel trims. If fuel trims are very positive, the computer is trying hard to add fuel to compensate for a lean condition. Cause 1. Vacuum leaks letting extra air in. This is the #1 cause I see. A vacuum leak means unmetered air is sneaking into the engine after the air has already been measured. The computer thinks less air is entering than reality, so it doesn't inject enough fuel. Common leak points include cracked PCV hoses, split intake boots, brittle vacuum lines, a leaking brake booster hose, intake manifold gasket leaks, and even small leaks around the throttle body. Vacuum leaks tend to cause rough idle, high idle, or idle that hunts up and down. They can also create a hissing sound. Fixing it is about finding the leak, not guessing. A smoke test is the fastest professional method. At home, careful inspection of hoses and boots can reveal obvious cracks. Cause 2. Dirty or failing MAF sensor. The mass airflow sensor tells the computer how much air is entering the engine. If it gets dirty or starts reading wrong, the computer underfuels and the engine runs lean. This often happens after someone installs an oiled aftermarket air filter and the oil mist coats the MAF element. It can also happen on older cars from normal dust buildup. Symptoms can include hesitation, rough idle, strange shifting on automatics, and lean codes. The fix can be as simple as cleaning the MAF with proper MAF cleaner. Never use brake cleaner on it. If cleaning doesn't help and the sensor data still looks wrong, replacement may be needed. Cause 3. Fuel pressure problems. If the engine isn't getting enough fuel, it will run lean no matter what the sensors say. Low fuel pressure can come from a weak fuel pump, clogged fuel filter, failing fuel pressure regulator, restricted fuel line, or a failing fuel pump control module on some cars. This cause tends to show up more under load. You step on it, and the car hesitates, surges, or feels weak at higher RPM. Sometimes it starts fine but struggles climbing hills. The correct fix starts with measuring fuel pressure and comparing to spec. If pressure is low, you diagnose the why before replacing parts. Cause 4. Clogged or weak fuel injectors. Injectors can clog from deposits, especially if fuel quality is poor or the car sits a lot. A partially clogged injector doesn't deliver the fuel the computer expects, so that cylinder runs lean. If multiple injectors are restricted, you can get overall lean codes. This can cause a rough idle, misfires, or a lack of power. Sometimes you'll see a specific misfire code for one cylinder along with lean codes. Fixing it might involve professional injector cleaning, replacing one injector, or in some cases replacing a set if they're all worn. Pour-in fuel additives can help mild buildup, but they won't fix a seriously restricted injector. Cause 5. Exhaust leaks before the oxygen sensor. This one is sneaky. If there's an exhaust leak upstream of the O2 sensor, outside air can get pulled into the exhaust stream. The sensor sees extra oxygen and reports a lean condition even if the engine is actually fueling correctly. The computer then adds fuel, which can create other issues. Clues include ticking noises on cold start, soot marks around exhaust joints, and a lean code that doesn't match the way the car feels. Fixing it means repairing the exhaust leak and then rechecking fuel trims. Cause 6. PCV system problems. The PCV system controls crankcase ventilation. If a PCV valve sticks open or a PCV diaphragm tears, common on some turbo engines, it can act like a vacuum leak and pull extra air into the intake. That drives fuel trims up and can trigger lean codes, rough idle whistling noises, and oil consumption. Fixing it is replacing the faulty PCV valve, diaphragm, and any cracked hoses. Cause 7. Wrong sensor readings besides the MF. Engines use other sensors to calculate fueling: map sensor, intake air temperature sensor, coolant temperature sensor, and even barometric pressure inputs. If a coolant temp sensor lies and says the engine is warmer than it is, the computer may reduce fuel and create a lean condition. If a map sensor reads wrong, the load calculation is wrong, and fueling is off. This is why scanning live data matters. You're not just reading codes, you're checking whether the sensor readings make sense in real life. What you should check first to save time and money. Start by checking for obvious vacuum leaks and broken hoses. Then look at the air filter and intake tube for cracks or loose clamps. If you have a scanner, check fuel trims at idle and at 2,500 RPM. That pattern often points you in the right direction. Next, inspect for exhaust leaks near the manifold and front pipe. Then consider fuel pressure testing if the problem shows up more under load. Don't replace oxygen sensors just because you have a lean code. Oxygen sensors usually report the problem. They're not usually the cause. When a lean condition becomes urgent, if the engine is misfiring, knocking, overheating, or the check engine light is flashing, don't keep driving it hard. A sustained lean condition can damage the catalytic converter and, in extreme cases, engine internals. Get it diagnosed sooner rather than later.